Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am the microphone messiah. I'm joined by a Canadian destroyer and Brandon Tanguma. We are here to recap WWE Clash at the Castle. It is over. Wrestling started at 10 a.m. and it's been a day. Coming off the heels of one of the most intriguing wrestling shows that anybody will ever see, Big Toko's Kickback. I got to be on the call for that, along with Big Toko himself, Juicy Finau, and Prince G. And one of the dudes from Culture Inc. joined us as well. Excuse me. Brandon, first of all, good afternoon. How are you doing? I saw you there last night. What'd you think of the show?
It definitely was an interesting show. Got there a little later. Missed like I think the first half hour, 45 minutes, but that didn't mean I didn't get to see a full show because that thing went long. Went to almost 11 o'clock, 10:30, and it's definitely a different vibe. There was some wrestling, there was some musical artists, there was like three or four performances we saw. There was some alcohol. They had Super Box, shout out Portuguese beer. Pretty sure Phillip didn't get it because he got that complimentary Modelo that I was trying to get, but he wasn't having none of that. But it's okay.
I didn't say any of that. I didn't. I said if you had shown up with me, you would have got one.
Well, I wasn't a
Or two,
part. I
three, or
wasn't.
four.
I wasn't on the employee list, so I didn't want to step on any toes. Didn't want to be there. Didn't want to intrude. But there was some meat pies. Shout out to the meat pies.
The Beulah pies or slash likes to call them the pooty cakes. I had one after the show, man. I had they said it was smoked brisket, but I think that was chicken. It was delicious, bro. Those things are fantastic. That's a slippery slope right there.
They were quite good.
Yes.
Maybe not exactly the price I would have liked them to be.
Oh, how much were they?
They might have been $15 or $18 if you ordered a premium one.
What's a premium
I don't. There was like this different meats, so whichever
one?
meat.
I know they had like a beef stew one and all this other. They had like a lemon one. Man, partied so hard we blew out the whole circuit. Blew out the circuit. The whole block was out. The main event turned into an actual dark match. Rick Luxury said for the first time in history, a dark match is the main event. Funny, funny. You saw
Even
the
though sometimes in WWE, like there's a lot of dark matches that are main events.
you talk about for you know what I mean.
I get it. I get it.
What would you think of the finish of the 4-way fade?
Well, it was a hardcore four-way match, and they definitely lived up to the hardcore match. We went to the UGWA show a month or two ago in San Francisco, and not taking anything away from that one, but this one definitely was a little bit more intense, especially with me being like right by the actions. It was a fans bring their own weapons, and I think someone brought like a plastic bat that was whatever in
Oh,
what
that
you
was
call it,
taped,
thumbtacks.
duct taped and thumbtacks. Yeah, Markout Media made that.
Well, he should have made it a lot more sturdier because dude smacked whoever was on the head. Thumbtacks went flying. That was definitely a safety hazard. Could have hit someone in the eye. Luckily, it didn't. But it hit me, Dominic, in the studio audience, like in the legs. Dominic has severe. He's lucky he's not injured. He had thumbtacks in the bottom of his shoes. Luckily, it didn't. Any nerve damage didn't happen. But we got some staple guns. We got the old trusty table with half cut open soda/beer cans. There was the Legos. I think there was
Yes,
glass in there somewhere. I don't know. There's a pillow fight that broke out,
Vinny eating chips.
and then the finish. There's the stage jumping off the stage during with a wood tower thing with barbed wire and chairs, and luckily nobody died. At least I don't think it. I dipped out a little bit early, so hopefully everyone got up and no one's dead. But T's and P's to everybody. There was a lot of blood, a lot of white shirts, a lot of blood.
Yes, yes. Hunter Freeman being a crazy man. He's gonna be on the Bullet Cast. His story's awesome. I can't wait for you guys to hear that. Well, how was the commentary, man?
The commentary was the commentary. It was
What do
cool.
you?
I could actually like understand what you guys were saying because we went when if you guys don't know, they do the thing where you literally hear the commentators over the PA system. Went to UGWA a little bit harder. Yes, Mia Marks might have been up in the nosebleeds and far away, but this time we could actually hear you. You did your part, playing the straight man while the other guys went a little more over the top, a little more animated. Uh, Hardcore bra and panties match stole the show for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons, yeah. My voice cracked for the Titus G Sharp and Kenny K match. That was fun. That was interesting.
When Titus came out, I went over to Dominic, was like, you know what, this guy's pretty good. And I think within like the first 3 minutes, he did like some flippy doos
Going
uh,
off, bro.
and I was like, yep, see, I got a keen eye for talent.
He
Just call
was
me,
going.
Paul Heyman, William Regal.
Yes, 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 yes. But we were here to talk Clash at the Castle. Brandon, take it away.
Oh yeah, this is why we're here. Talk about Clash of the Castle, WWE, the first WWE Stadium show in 30 years. So many comparisons to SummerSlam 92. And one might say from top to bottom, this was a better show than SummerSlam 92. But I don't forget the pre-show taking place in, what's this called? Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales. 62,296. Who knows if that is actually the real number, but seemed legit. Seemed like a lot of people there. Good for them. Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Byron Saxon on the call the entire time. And we do have a pre-show. I did not watch it, unfortunately, because I was recording another podcast. But we had Madcap Moss and the Street Profits defeating Austin Theory. He got his name back. And the Alpha Academy. This one goes 6:30, 6-man tag. The baby faces get the Dubski. Phillip, did you see the pre-show? And if not, are you so glad that Austin Theory is back? We get names are coming back. Now I'm hoping Ciampa could come back. Didn't get Walter. Still got
I
Gunther.
didn't see that. You know what? When I saw Giovanni, whatever his name is, besides Ludwig, I'm like, Imperium's back. Is Walter? Is his name gonna come back? But didn't see the pre-show. Austin Theory, whatever. Austin Theory said he didn't want his first name back. He was fine with just being called Theory.
Well, he's supposed to say that.
I mean, he's not supposed to. He can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, it is. It's a free country.
Yeah.
As long as he's not saying it in Saudi Arabia. But
well, it was just a video he recorded at his house during a podcast, man.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. As long as he's in a free country, he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But let's start off with the show proper, with the opening. Another 6-woman tag team match. Damage Control. We got it on the Tron. Not exactly the same spelling where it was like CRNTL or whatever. It was Full Control. Bayley, Io, and Dakota taking on Bianca Belair, Asuka, Alexa Bliss. This one goes 1844. The crowd was hyped. They were chanting the Bayley song. Obviously, it was birthed at that NXT TakeOver show in London in the UK. So it was obvious that they were going to bring that back. Bayley playing into it. She played into it, but not as a face, as a heel, trying to tell him shut the hell up. And I thought they did a good job. And the baby faces lose with Bianca getting pinned by Bayley. And this obviously will set up a title match further on down the line, whether it's in a couple weeks at Extreme Rules, longer than that, who knows. But the crowd was hot, and it was just the beginning of the crowd kind of taking over and being the story of the show. Not in a bad way, which we've seen many ways, but this was a good crowd atmosphere.
It was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Asuka going off. Jesus. Nobody's ready for Asuka still after all these years, baby. Io Sky, just her selling is impeccable. Dakota Kai played her part very well. Bayley, just being the heel that gets the win and just is having a ball at the expense of the good guys. You love to see it.
Yeah, I thought this match was fantastic. Maybe a little bit long. I mean, 1844 is
that's how long this was.
That's what it says on Wikipedia, and Wikipedia doesn't lie. I mean, only 6 matches on the main card. All of them went over 12 minutes. Or 11 minutes.
And how long was this pay-per-view? It starts at 10. We finished about
1:30 if we're gonna include all the shenanigans with Drew and Fury.
3 hours. That's not TK. Take notes, buddy.
You can have a nice 3-hour, 3.5-hour show, which in half the matches. And there's another match since we recorded.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, I don't got to worry about that because your boy got eliminated because I am trash. It's okay. I didn't want to win anyways. I am the holder of the most title reigns in Bulletcast history. And some might say I'm just copying Phillip's gimmick and his shtick, but it's not true. I'm trying to step aside Mark's has, he's gone through a lot recently, so he is a champion right now. I'm glad for him. I didn't want to step on his toes as a Los Padre teammate. I'll let him go for it. Keep his title, try to hold on for however long he wants to hold on
That's
for it.
that's nice of you, man. That's really the only good
I'm a
thing.
I'm a good person.
That's really the only good thing he has going on in his life right now.
And then
Being the champion of the show.
we got Brian, and he shows up sometimes when he wants to, and the other guy, well, not the other guy. We have another other guy who, he's gonna be the one who ends up stealing this whole thing.
Possibly, you never know. What's next?
Oh, what's next? We have an intercontinental singles match with the reunion of Imperium with Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci by his side. That was to kind of offset Butch and Ridge Holland, flanking Sheamus, and the four side characters all cancel each other out. So just Sheamus and Gunther just go at it, just beat the piss out of each other. They go back and forth. Sheamus, he started out white, but he turned red by the end of the show. He was just all busted up. And you know how Bryan Danielson, like, he gets all chopped up and his chest looks like hamburger meat. He pretty much looked like that's what Sheamus looked like. And Gunther, I mean, continuing to do fantastic things in the ring. And Sheamus was over with this crowd. Say what you will about Sheamus and his career, but in the UK, it was to be expected that he was going to be over. Maybe I didn't expect him to be that over, but putting him early in the show, the crowd was hot for him, and there's some good near falls, some good back and forth, but Gunther ends up getting the win 19-33. Fantastic match, arguably best match of the show, I would say, until the main event, but this one definitely over delivered in my eyes. And I had some higher expectations than I think most did because of Sheamus. People don't really think of Sheamus as being that great, but if he's in there with the right opponent who wants to go back and forth and just beat the tar out of each other, and Gunther was definitely up for that challenge.
Absolutely, one of the great Intercontinental Championship matches in recent memory. It's just hard hitting. It was fast paced at times, and then they were just beating the snot out of each other, man. You love to see it. You really do.
Yeah, and if you compare this match to the main event, even if the crowd was like lukewarm or just kind of, fairly into it, I still would have said this was a fantastic match. And I think the main event was carried more by the crowd, but this was just the perfect blend of, two guys on the mid undercard trying to outperform their spot, and the crowd delivered. The crowd, was definitely behind Sheamus, and I don't know what you do with him after this. I mean, it's hard to take too much out of this show in general, just because it's the UK, it's a special atmosphere, and you take Sheamus and put him back in the States. I don't think it's pretty obvious he's not going to get that same reaction, but I think he does gain something from this performance. Maybe you could get a little bit more out of Sheamus, maybe a possible Roman Reigns opponent. And spoiler alert for the main event, but what do you think you'd do with Sheamus after this? Because he did turning him babyface for this match was a little weird, but seemed to work at the end of the day.
I mean, babyface Sheamus he's had successes. Let's not forget that. He had a great world championship run as a babyface in a couple years ago, or several years ago. He had a great babyface run as a singles champion. So I don't know, man. I don't know what you do with Sheamus. Trying to think of who he can be with or fight. I think he was just a babyface for this scenario, honestly. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I did enjoy the story of them telling, like, "Hey, Sheamus just needs this, and he's joins the realm of Grand Slam champions." I did enjoy that.
They did play up the story of Sheamus's back. He almost had Gunther with the bro kick, but his back gave out, and that was kind of the ending. Just a solid, stiff, close line from Gunther to get the win. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I like Gunther's finishing sequences where it's not anything flashy. He doesn't really have like a strong like finishing move. It's just like a big clothesline or a power bomb, and that's all it takes, which makes him scary.
Yes, sir.
Moving on, we get the Women's SmackDown Championship with Liv Morgan defending against Shayna Baszler. Definitely a come down match. The crowd was not as hot for this one as they were for the previous match, but that would be expected. This one goes 11 minutes, and Liv Morgan gets the win via pinfall, hits her finisher, the Oblivion, I believe is what they call it.
Yes.
Both women were selling the arm, with Shayna getting put in an armbar and vice versa, and whatchamacallit. So that was kind of the story of this match. The crowd was a little bit dead, probably tired from the previous match, but credit to the women. They did kind of get up for it later in the show or later in the match. And, Liv gets the win. I was thinking maybe because Triple H is in charge, he loves himself some Shayna. Shayna could have got the win. Was not the case. But, still being said, I still think it was pretty good match. I don't know the history of Liv Morgan's matches, but I would say this was on the higher end of it. And even with a kind of dead crowd, they were able to win them back in the end, which I thought, showed how much they put into it and how, I don't want to put the match over too much, how good it was, I guess.
Absolutely. I enjoyed, Liv trying to play the kind of the part of Shayna Baszler, like attacking a joint, attacking a limb or something like that. That was nice. Hey, I thought it was a nice little finishing sequence, code breaker. She stumbles and she's on the ropes. It just sets up for the Oblivion, and boom, Liv Morgan still SmackDown Women's Champion.
Then we get the tag team match with Edge and Rey Mysterio with Dominic Mysterio, taking on the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley in their corner. Rey and Dominic come out first. Rey has red and black get up, and then Edge comes out, same color scheme, and he has a mask of his own. Don't know exactly what he was going for. Like, obviously Rey has the mask, so he wore mask too, but it was cute. Tag team champions reuniting 20 years later after winning the titles, and they go up against Priest and Balor. This one goes 12:35, so second shortest match on the main card. But I thought they worked well, very similar to the women's match, to where the crowd was just so into Edge. They loved him. They were, chanting his name, singing his theme song on the way to the ring. Cooled off a little bit during the middle portion, but once the finishing sequence came back up, the crowd did, and Edge and Mysterio get the win with Edge pinning Balor, I believe was the finish.
Yes.
What do you think of the match first, Philip, before we talk about the aftermath that everyone's talking about?
The match was cool, solid. Rhea just manhandling Dom yet again.
Lucky.
Jesus Christ. Match was cool. It was a nice pay-per-view tag match for guys that aren't really normally tag teams. It was cool, but the aftermath.
Yes. Well, there was a finishing sequence where Dominic got heavily involved, tripping Finn. I think he got into it with Rhea a little bit. Maybe he did something with Damien as well, but wasn't. I speculated that Dominic was going to get involved and join the Judgment Day and turn, and that's how Judgment Day was going to win. Judgment Day didn't win, but we still got a Dominic turn, as all three of them are all hugging and loving up on each other in the middle of the ring, and then Dominic with the boo-boo face takes Edge to Dick Kick City. Rey Mysterio crying and professing why, and then Dominic takes his dad to Dick Punch City, and
clotheslined him.
Sorry, I was just in a fit of rage. I forget exactly what happened. Not exactly a Gunther clothesline, but he hit a clothesline, really laid it in as well. I guess you can do that with your dad. Dad's not going to get mad at you if you potato him. But Dominic, boo-boo face, angry, turns on Edge and Rey. He kind of rips off the Mysterio shirt a little bit, and he is a bad boy now.
A little bit. He ripped it. He took the thing off.
He Hulk Hogan that thing.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah, I mean, Dominic's been growing out the mullet, man. People have been talking online. Oh, he's growing out the mullet. Gonna get some 97 heel Ray, or not heel Ray, heel Eddie. And I mean, hey, man, we'll see. I'm interested. I'm very interested. As Dipperstein would say on the GP podcast, this is something. It is something. So I'm down. I'm happy for Dom.
I know they kind of laid the seeds early on with Dominic kind of complaining to Rey, like, why are you teaming with Edge instead of me? I mean, even beforehand, the commentators were like, "Oh, Dominic has been a little boo boo face and a little agitated with his dad." But then during the match, like it was nothing was wrong. He gave Edge a hug. He wasn't mad. He was, as I said, cheating for Edge and Mysterio. So there was real no reason for him to turn like at that exact moment. Like if he was angry and you could see something like him stewing like during the entire match, I think it would have been better. That being said, like the moment itself played fine. Like the crowd popped. It was this, big thing, and I'm pretty sure it's getting traction on social media and all that other stuff. I'm just saying, I think it could have, like, the story could have been better because it didn't make any sense for Dominic to legit get into the finish of the match and then right after the fact turn on Edge and Mysterio. Like, why did he help him if he was going to do that at the end? Like, I will restraint, getting too angry or too mad at it because he can always explain himself, but that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
You help them win. You really make them think that you're on their side, and then boom, you attack them.
Right in the yam bags.
Yep.
Shout out Damian Priest, who was selling the yam bags, and he was just like heavy breathing into the camera. It was comical, but that's what happens when you get taken.
I don't think he was selling, bro.
Maybe he needs a Riddle to go out there and help him. Anyways, we get the co-main event as Seth freaking Rollins out there looking like his best Elton John impression, taking on Matt Riddle, as he does his best Patrick Starr impression. And this one goes 17-22. What I was thinking Riddle was going to be different coming out to the ring, but he was still kind of his happy self on the scooter. But once he got into the ring, his expression kind of changed, which I was like, okay, that's a happy medium. I would have liked him to be a lot more intense on the way to the ring, given the story that was headed into it. But it is what it is. Just a solid wrestling match. Riddle gets all angry and they brawl and then they wrestle. They get in the graps. 17-22 was the finish with Seth Rollins hitting a curb stomp on Riddle. Seth Rollins getting into Riddle's mind, talking about his ex-wife and his kids, and Riddle kind of goes over the top and was going to hit him with a chair. Seth ducks, and that ends up being the finishing sequence. So I don't think this is done. It made sense if this was just going to be a one-off. Riddle probably should have won, but it looks as though they're going to continue this feud, so it made sense for Seth to win here, especially since he's been losing a lot with the Cody feud the last few months.
I see. Yes. This was fun. That's all I can say. It was fun. The transition into the pedigree, the going up for the power bombs, Seth just dropping down and hooking it. I was like, that's the cleanest I've transitioned to a pedigree I've ever seen. They just went for it, man. Just attack after attack, multiple kicks, and just Riddle popping out the deadlift German, and then just collapsing out of his exhaustion. All of it was fun. But Seth got the much needed win.
Yeah, as I said, it makes sense for Seth to win in this circumstance because of what's going on. Not exactly the cleanest of clean wins, just because of the finishing sequence, but I mean, no real cheating from Seth, just him playing the mind games. So I thought this match was good. I had maybe higher expectations in this match, but I thought it was really good. Crowd was into it, but definitely not on the same level as the main event and the IC title match. So maybe that was them preserving their energy or just straight up not being as invested in this match as the other ones were, but still a solid match. And I am excited to see what these two do in the future. But that being said, we still have one more match, the main event for the WWE Universal Championship, as Roman Reigns. Philip just does the main events. He's like, Paul Heyman, and he does the introductions.
He did once again what he said he was going to do. It's 734 plus days now. 2 more years. I want him to have the title for 2 more years, ladies and gentlemen. Roman Reigns is still on top of the mountain, still on the real island of relevancy. I don't know what the hell Drew McIntyre was talking about. That's that sore loser talk. Roman Reigns, still the undisputed WWE champion. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Went over across the pond and smashed their favorite son. Smashed him up real good and is walking out the champion. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
That's it.
I mean, man, Roman. And still, Theory thought he was going to do something, got smacked up real quick by Tyson Fury. Drew really thought he had won with that second Claymore, but out of nowhere, the ref's leg gets pulled and it's Solo Sikoa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another member of the bloodline. Shout out Corey Graves, man. He said the bloodline is just as deep as they are dangerous. And I love that. I love that. This is great. This is great. It's fantastic.
Great line by Corey. It's almost like he's getting paid to do it. Almost like he knows what he's talking about.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah, this one goes 30 minutes, 47 seconds, by far the longest match on the show. Maybe could shade off a little bit of time, but Karrion Kross, not Killer Kross, and Scarlett was at ringside. Only time they got involved was with just Killer Kross throws a water bottle at Drew, and they get a little distraction, but for the most part, he didn't factor into the finish whatsoever, which I thought was good. I thought that would have been way worse if we still got the same result of Roman winning, but Killer Kross getting involved in costing Drew the win. But we also had a fake cash in. Austin Theory tries to cash in as well, but Tyson Fury decks Theory in the face, and so he doesn't get a cash in. So one of these days, Austin Theory will cash in. But the match itself, as I kind of stated earlier, just the crowd was absolutely insane for this. They loved Drew. We did get Broken Dreams a little bit. They did the intro with kind of an evolution from his early days to now. I think a lot of people were a little disappointed, myself included. I think people really wanted him to come out to Broken Dreams. But it didn't deter from the match. People still loved him, but I think people really wanted the intro.
When Broken Dreams is the whole song, that's how you know he's gonna win.
Okay.
Yeah, because they did it. I'm like, oh god, he's gonna win. And then I saw his regular music going, oh, you're gonna lose. Okay, cool.
But I thought this match was fantastic. Match of the night, and as much as I love that IC title match, I don't think it was really close. The crowd was just so hot. The crowd was insane for this. It wasn't exactly, Hogan Rock in terms of the crowd just elevating a match to, 7-star classic, but the match itself with Roman, the action in the ring was good. It was like a really good match. But if the crowd was dead for this, it wouldn't have been the same. The crowd really, then their investment in Drew, and they played along. They really liked Drew. Obviously, there were some people who liked Roman, but they were booing Roman, and they got the right type of heat, I thought, in this match. And there was a bunch of good near falls with the Claymores and the Spears, and I think those two work really well together in terms of finishes, just because it's almost like Okada and Naito, where the Rainmaker and Destino just kind of glide into each other very well. The Spear and the Claymore, it's almost the same kind of run up, so you don't know which one's going to hit. And in the end, Roman did get the win, but I thought Drew came out much better. And, when you first announced the match, I was like, oh, okay, makes sense. In the UK, Drew is going to wrestle and going to lose. And I did talk myself into it on the show. But if you listen back to Curveballs and Chair Shots, which I recorded right before the show started, I did talk myself back into knowing that Roman Reigns was going to win. And I should have changed my pick last minute, but I didn't. I stuck to my guns, even though I knew they were kind of wrong. But it was definitely the right choice to have Roman win and continue on this feud because, yes, it would have been an absolute fantastic moment for Drew to win here. But then you have to think of the next couple weeks, next couple months, WrestleMania. You can't put the genie back in the bottle after Roman holding that title for 2 years. So you can still say Roman's fantastic and can main event with The Rock, but I think you can still get more out of a Roman title loss, whether that's Cody, Braun Breaker, Riddle, Gunther, whoever. I just don't think this was the right moment. And I know a lot of people are calling for Drew to win, but I was happy to see that Triple H did not pull the trigger here.
Yes. So it just begs back to the question, like, who's going to be the one? And I still think it's Cody. It's very interesting. We don't even know what's going to be happening at October 8th with it's a Saturday Extreme Rules, and we don't even know if Roman's going to be on that.
Which I appreciate it. Football season, have Saturday pay-per-views, clutch.
But the next day we gonna have a long day, brother.
Oh, dang it.
Oh yeah, we got that show. We got to go to another show after. It's gonna be a long day.
Another show after that was in my contract.
It's been talked into existence. I was asked. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be there. So
Oh, you'll be there.
I mean,
Just because you'll be there, that means all three of us have to be there. That means Brian's definitely not going to be there then.
I didn't think he was gonna show up in the first place.
Damn, you got no faith in O'Brien, no Tron Con.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Dude,
I'm just trying to make
were you outside with the boys taking vitamins last night, brother?
Yeah, I'm high as a kite right now, bro.
Oh, Jesus. All right, that's going to do it for Clash of the Castle recap. Tonight, APW Bay Area Bash. It is the return of the one of the most tenured, or I think the most tenured company in the Bay Area. APW's put on so many great shows over the years. A lot of great memories for myself when it comes to watching wrestling in general. Tonight's going to be fun. It's at the Bekele Event Center. Brandon and I have spent a lot of time there going to APW shows.
So many times. So much work.
So much work. Yes. Hope to see you all tonight. Thank you guys so much. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe. Diamonds are forever. So is the Microphone Messiah.